On today's show, is Luka Doncic the MVP? Are we sleeping on Luka Doncic as an MVP candidate? Maybe. Maybe. We'll tell you his path to the MVP, and is he a guaranteed lock for first team All NBA? We'll talk about Luka Doncic and all the awards on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good!
And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, where you can subscribe to the show. Getting us to 12,000 subs now. We're rising up slowly but surely. We're gonna catch Josh Lloyd, Locked On Fantasy Basketball, one day. He's at like 49 or like 47,000. We're gonna catch Josh Lloyd one day. Help us get there. One day more. Joining me, as always, my co-host, writer, and contributor at Mavs.com, the Les Mis man, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
That was a weird one.
I said one day more, and it started to make me think of Les Mis, and then.
Okay, never mind. All right, off the top, I'm gonna go serious route.
Uh-oh.
And I'm gonna do some.
The music is out. The music is out immediately.
Serious route. A piece of advice was given to me today, and I want to pass it along. So, earlier this morning, I was having a conversation with somebody about something that was really bothering me, about just something in my life, something that somebody had said, and I was like, man, I'm really bothered by this. But I said the line, I know I shouldn't feel this way. I know it shouldn't bother me. And instead of, this is why you need friends like this in your life. Instead of saying, oh, yeah, I agree, man. You don't let this bother you, right? Like, that's the natural response. Instead, this person stopped me and said, hey, it's okay. Like, don't say that. It's okay to feel that. Ask yourself why you feel that. And I think I just want to pass along. If you're like in your, going to work, whatever you're doing, wherever you listen to this, somebody tweeted us and a picture of them on the beach, listen to Locked On Mavs. Some of you guys love to tweet out where you listen to the pod every now and then. And if you have something that's bothering you, something that's like hanging with you, and you're like, dang it, this is so dumb for me to feel this way. I shouldn't even feel this way. Don't try to negate those feelings. Don't try to just brush them off with this whole like, I shouldn't feel this way. Instead, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Is there something deeper inside of you that you're like, dang, I got to work something else out because this is affecting me that way. So sorry to go in like counseling corner here, but
I'm going to take it one step further. Your feelings are real to you, right? I struggle personally. I struggle with this problem wouldn't matter to somebody else, right? So why does it matter to me? But it does matter to me, right? Those things and the things sometimes people say, they do affect you, and it affects me in certain ways. And I'm like, dang, no one would care about this. I've lived, this fairly privileged life where I haven't struggled with, a ton of things like compared with some other people, but you can't play the comparison game in that way. Your feelings are real to you. There you go. We're gonna end our counseling corner.
Counseling corner, door shut. Sorry.
But for people, your feelings are real. And so if you are starting to feel right now like nobody's talking about Luka Doncic for MVP, you're starting to feel like Reggie Bullock.
Keith Pompey teach you how to do segues.
I went to the Keith Pompey School of Segways. Reggie Bullock tweeted out a Bleacher Report graphic that had Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis on it. That said MVP, the MVP race is heating up. And Bullock quote tweeted it and said, sleeping on that guy in Dallas, # Luka Doncic, which I appreciate so much. And we don't play this enough. Hashtag Luka Doncic. Theo Pinson also tweeted out yesterday, can someone explain to me how at Luka Doncic isn't the MVP in the MVP conversation? And so people are starting to feel this way, and you may feel this way right now. Why aren't more people talking about for Luka for MVP? Your feelings are valid. We're going to validate your feelings today. Isaac, should Luka be in this conversation? How does he get into this conversation?
Yeah, well, I think, you have to define what the conversation, looks like. Is it a top three? I feel like every year it kind of changes. You either have a top four or there's the top three or
voters vote for five, right?
Yeah. So if you just want to say the conversation is the top 5, then 100% he is in the conversation. If you want to do the, hey, whatever's on a social graphic of, the top 2 or top 3, I think he has some work to do to crack that top 3. And that's just my opinion. I love Luka. So if we just look at the current spot of the MVP race, like where are we at? And you have these, you have if you want to do the top 3 there of Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, whatever order you have with that. And then where does, I think there's a next set of 4 after that of, Ja Morant, Luka. And then for me, a step, below that is DeMar DeRozan and Steph Curry. So for me right now, I think Jokic is leading that race. Like when you look at his numbers, I mean, it's crazy when you look at what Jokic is averaging right now, right at 26 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, like what he's done with the Denver team. They're 6th in the West. We all know their injuries and stuff. Like it's unbelievable. So I think I have him number 1. Embiid's a close 2 for me. And then Giannis after that. And then I have Luka at 4 with John. I think here's my thing. What is and I'm not obviously love Luka and MVP thing, but like, I feel like Ja Morant should be considered more in this MVP race or just as much as Luka Doncic. Like, why is he not be mentioned? Why is he not mentioned in this conversation more than what he is for what this, they're about to be they are the 2 seed now in the Western Conference. And this dude's averaging, I mean, if you even want to do the comp to Luka, I mean, he's averaging 1 point less than Luka. He's averaging, he has a better field goal percentage than Luka. Like
couple less assists,
a little bit better 3-point percentage. Like he has, a few more games played than Luka. Like I'm not trying to say like, oh, Ja over Luka type thing, but I think if people are arguing for Luka to be in the conversation, I think Ja Morant should be getting consideration to be in a conversation too.
For MVP, so for right now, if you look at Bleacher Report's, or not Bleacher Report, Basketball Reference's MVP award tracker, they have a model based on the past voting results to say, all right, let's try and figure out statistically who voters will actually vote for based on past results and based on the numbers from past candidates. Jokic is number 1 at 43.5%. That's a lot. Giannis is 2 with 23%. Embiid is 3 with 12%. Chris Paul is actually 4 with 12.1%. That one's interesting to me. I feel like that one's just based on best player on best team. Yeah. And then Luka is 5th with 3%, followed closely by Jimmy Butler.
I mean, it's just the 1 seed.
I think that Chris Paul and the Jimmy Butler is just the 1 seed. Like you said, it's overvaluing the best team on the best player on the best team right now. Those guys aren't probably going to sniff MVP. I don't think. I don't imagine those guys in the top 5 of many people's ballots. Ja Morant is all the way down at 9. Rudy Gobert. If you look at this,
I don't get that. I mean, he's played 52 games. I mean, you compare that to the other guys like Jokic is at 58, Embiid's at 52 games. Like, I don't get why Ja is not the level that he's at, and where, like, do standings matter? Like you've seen the stuff in the past with the MVP stuff of like, okay, the percentage of guys who win the award, that they're top 2 seeds in their conference. Like, is Jokic going to be one of those outlier seasons to where it's like
Westbrook,
that Westbrook year? I mean, Westbrook averaged 31, 10 and 10 in that 2016-17 season. And he won that MVP. And like, some people still look back on it. I don't think people look back on if Jokic wins this MVP, but how many times has an MVP won the award when they're 6th in their conference? Like, if I'm Memphis fans and Memphis is number 2 in the West, and it's not like, I get Jaren Jackson and their guys are good players, but it's not like he has an Anthony Davis alongside of him or a James Harden. So for Ja, I think Ja deserves to be in the conversation. I think Luka deserves to be in the conversation, and how these last final weeks play out will matter a lot to the award. And I think coming up in the second segment, we'll probably talk about how does Luka crack that top 3? Like, what is the pathway? Because I don't think the chapter's closed or the door's closed on it. I just don't think at this current moment, I don't have Luka in the top 2 or 3 in that MVP vote, but I think there's a path that he could go down and he ends up right there at the end.
We'll talk about that and more coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about Prize Picks. Are you looking for a daily fantasy option for the NBA? You're like, hey, I like playing fantasy, but I hate the weekly thing where you have to go in and you're facing against other people, and then some people don't care about it, and so then you're just facing off against somebody that forgot to set their lineup, and you're like, I just want to get over all this stuff and play a game, play fun fantasy where I can just pick a couple of things. Prize Picks is the thing for you. It's the award-winning app on Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. You pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on their projections, so you can win up to 10 times on any entry. It's just you versus the projected numbers. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. You can do this quick. It can be fun. You can take your time on it. You can look up all kinds of stuff. Prize Picks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. Use the award-winning app both on the App Store and Google Play. You can check it out right now. And it has an exclusive offer, no-brainer of an offer for all of our users. Get $50 for free if a player in your first Prize Pick entry scores a single point, but you have to use the promo code NBA. That's right. This is an exclusive offer available to Locked On fans. Sign up today and use the code NBA for $50 free if your first Prize Pick entry scores a single point. Play daily fantasy easier on Prize Picks. Use the promo code NBA. All right, Isaac Harris, thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now podcast. Nightly recaps of every NBA game with analysis from our local experts. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Isaac, let's get into the MVP. So I think everyone agrees that it's Jokic, then Embiid, then Giannis. Maybe Giannis, Embiid.
I would say everybody agrees to that, but
it's those 3 guys, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's those 3 guys in the top for MVP right now. So how does Luka crack that? I just want to look at those 3 guys and say, what are they doing right now that makes them so good? If you look at Embiid right now, Embiid is having just an insane season, almost 30 points a game. I think he's still leading the league in scoring, double-digit rebounds, 4 assists, playing incredible defense like he does. Now he has James Harden. James Harden is actually 7th in MVP on Basketball Reference's MVP award tracker, which is above Ja Morant, which is kind of wild to me. It makes you kind of want to not believe anything that this Basketball Reference thing says. You're like, maybe I don't believe what it says if that's the case. But Joel Embiid, when he plays this year, he's played 52 games. The 76ers have a 69 win percentage.
Nice.
That's good. Jokic, when he's played this season, their Nuggets are 37-21. They have a 64% winning percentage, which, considering the players that are around Nikola Jokic this year, missing the guys that he's missing, is pretty incredible. Yeah. When Giannis plays this year, they're 36-19, which is a 66% winning. So Embiid is 1, Giannis is 2, and Jokic is 3, obviously. But Luka would fit in right behind Embiid. When he plays this year, the Mavs are 33-16. They have a 67% winning percentage. So he would be above Giannis and above Jokic in this. If you're just looking at how their team performs this year so far.
Impressive. Yeah.
It's impressive. And I think one of the things that's holding back Ja from this award, if we're not going to put Ja in here, is that Ja Morant, when he plays, the team has a 61% winning percentage. The Grizzlies were actually better when he was not playing during that stretch that he missed this season. Now, are they a better team without him? No, but they played better, and they won a bunch of their games when he was out. That's what's really holding him back, I think, is that one stretch that he was out when the team actually played even better than when he was there, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, and I get that's the biggest thing, with Jokic that people are going to throw out, like, hey, this guy
team's not good.
Yeah, the team's not good without him, and he's played in 58 games this year. He's only missed a handful of games, and you look at Luka's played 49 games compared to like DeRozan, who's played 61 games. Like Luka's right on that line to where he can't miss a stretch of games anymore to even be considered for that, because once you get to that like 15 different mark of some of these things, like that begins to weigh out. But there are 3 things for Luka, for me, that you have to do these 3 things, or these 3 things have to happen for you to have a shot at MVP. Number 1 thing, you have to go on the last run, and the Mavericks have to finish as the 3 seed. Like, they just have to. Like, if you want to be considered for the MVP, The Mavericks have to move from the fifth seed right now up to number 3.
You don't think they could even be 4? They have home court advantage.
I guess because you're talking about arguing your points, right? And I think the argument for you to go against Jokic is, if Denver stays at 6, and because spoiler alert, my third point on this list is you can't have late season runs by Denver moving up to grab the 4 seed, and you can't have late season runs by Milwaukee or Philly grabbing the number 1 seed. Because if Milwaukee or Philly goes on this tear and they finish as the number 1 seed in the East, then it's going to be a heck of a case for Embiid or Giannis and that narrative. And we all know the narrative stuff. But if Jokic in Denver moves up from 6 to 4, it doesn't matter where Dallas in. Jokic got that in the bag. Like he's winning MVP at that point.
What is it about Jokic that makes him so much more of a favorite for MVP, that if he's 4, he'll get MVP, but Luka, if the Mavs are 4, then he won't get MVP or even like consideration, really?
Well, I don't think it's like not being considered. I just think if Jokic is already there where he's at now, and in the voting and all season, the roster and all this stuff, like most people have him number 1 now. You need something to argue Luka's case over, for Luka to enter the conversation and have a case over him. And that's where, like, if you could have a couple spots in the standings, like 3 spots away, like, hey, Dallas is 3, Denver is at 6, then that definitely helps your case. And for Luka, can he finish the season averaging 29, 9, and 9? Like, can you up your averages just a little bit to where you can average that? So Luka right now is averaging 28 points a game, 8.8 assists, and 9.9 or 9.3 rebounds. So can he up that just a little bit to average 29, 9, and 9? Because this has only happened 4 times in NBA history. 3 times was by Oscar Robertson, okay, the Big O. So Oscar did this thing 3 times to where he averaged 29, 9, and 9. One of those seasons, he was the MVP. The other 2 seasons, he didn't win the MVP because he lost it to Bill Russell, who was on the number 1,
He was good.
Bill Russell was really good. Early 60s. So that 3 of those times were the Big O, and one of those 3 was the Big O winning MVP. The 4th time, the only time this has happened in the past, like, I don't know, 20, 30, however, 60 years, if you want to do that, was Russell Westbrook. MVP season, 31, 10, and 10. So for Luka, that's your case, right? Like, if Luka can up his average just a little bit, like 1 more point a game, keep his rebounds what it's at, get it,
0.2 assists more a game.
Yeah, to where then your case is that, hey, the Mavericks, after the whole KP stuff, they made the big trade, they went small ball. Luka's averaging 29 and 9 and 29, 9 and 9. It's only happened 4 times in NBA history, and 2 of those seasons were MVP seasons. And like, that's your case, right? Like, he has these big moments towards the end of the season. And then if you could get lucky with it, and like Milwaukee and Philly stay where they're at, maybe, Miami stays at number 1. It'd be awesome. Chicago moves up to number 2. Phoenix stays at 1. Memphis is at 2. Golden State's, through there. Denver stays back at 6. That's your pathway. That's your road to Luka being in the MVP conversation by the end of the year.
Yeah, it would have to take that for him. It would have to take the Mavs winning all those games. It would have to take him upping his numbers to where it's like undeniable that those are just incredible numbers we've barely ever seen before. Yeah. But to answer my question a little bit earlier, I did want to give an answer here, is that the difference between Luka and Jokic right now is, like, statistically, you can't just look at the counting numbers. You can't just look at, okay, well, Jokic is averaging, 2 points less a game. He's averaging like a little less assists. His rebounds are obviously higher. You start looking at the shooting, but production wise, if you look at PER, it's not everything, but it's sort of an aggregate of, let's give a 1 number measurement of how efficient somebody is and how good somebody has been in a season. Jokic has the highest of all, like one of the highest PERs of all time. His is 32.4. Luka's is 24.4. think about how big that difference is. Giannis is at 32. Embiid is at 31.6. Like, these guys are having seasons that are as efficient and statistically as good as what we've ever seen if we take the aggregate of everything. Yes, like if you look at Luka's counting stats, the points, the rebounds, the assists, like those are awesome for sure, but it's the aggregate of everything else. And all three of those guys are 7-footers, so they're getting some easier baskets, and they score, their field goal percentage is obviously a lot higher. But you also want to look at win shares. Win shares is a number that, it's an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player. And that's a stat that Basketball Reference has. The difference between Jokic and Luka is insane. Jokic has a 12.0 win share so far this season. Luka is at 5.4, right? And so obviously we know Luka adds more than 5 wins to this Mavericks team. But if you're just looking at, okay, what's the statistical difference between these guys? Why isn't Luka in this conversation more? That's the difference statistically between those guys, right? If you're just taking it, if you're looking at it with those two numbers, PER and win shares, Jokic is just, leaps and bounds ahead of where Luka is. Because Luka had such a slow start, I think it's really holding him back right now.
It's holding him back. People, like when you look at the consistency route, like it's like, all right, well, Jokic started off the season playing well. And it's like going into your efficiency stuff too. It's like, look at the shooting splits. I mean, Jokic's average, is averaging. Jokic shooting 57% from the field, 36% from three.
That's an average, I think.
80% from the free throw line. Like all three of those are better than Luka. Like Luka's averaging, shooting 45% from three, and it's like that's a 12% difference in field goal percentage. And like I get that he's 7 foot, but Jokic is also shooting better from the 3-point line too. So that's I get the Jokic argument over Luka right now. I won't get it if Luka ups his averages just a little bit and the Mavericks finish 3rd in the West and Denver still stays at 6. Like the standings, I think, will be the only thing to Jokic. And some people don't care about that. I get it. It's like, hey, whatever, the team wouldn't even be there. It'd be at 6. And I get that argument. It's just historically, it's always been one of the top seeds in the West.
Yeah, that is
top seeds, like
top seed in their conference. Yeah, that has been one of the prerequisites for MVP, unless you have a Westbrook type season. We just haven't seen it very often. And so that's the case for Luka, how he could get into this conversation. Let's talk about the All NBA coming up. Let's talk about, is Luka Doncic in the driver's seat for first team All NBA where he is right now? The other 3 guys in MVP conversation are all bigs, right? Are Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. So is Luka Doncic in the driver's seat for that? We've been talking about, is it Ja Morant and Steph Curry all year? Is it time to talk about how it's just Luka and Ja? We'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about Built Bar. It's a protein bar. Tastes like a candy bar. They're absolutely delicious. I stand by this. I would much rather have a Built Bar than most candy bars. Isaac, name a candy bar.
Like the actual name of it? We're going to give them pub right now?
Just name a candy bar. No, we're going to...
What you going to call it?
Oh, those suck. I definitely would have a coconut brownie chunk bar over a Built Bar. Name another candy bar.
Zero bar.
I don't even know what that is, but I would rather have a Built Bar.
You don't know what a zero bar is?
No.
Milky Way.
Get out of here with your Milky Way. Get out of here with your caramel and your weird nuts.
I will keep my weird nuts.
Built Bar now also has a Shamrock bar. I've not tried this. White chocolate with Shamrock.
Oh.
Everyone's trying to do that, like the Shamrock Shake. You can check out that bar right now. 150 calories, 17 grams of protein, 6 grams of sugar in a bar covered in 100% white chocolate. Check it out. They also have the puffs that are filled with marshmallow. Make sure you check out which ones you're getting. You can see them on the website. You can even see them. You hover your mouse over the bar, and it shows you what's inside. That's great. Gotta love that.
That's cool.
Absolutely delicious. Check them out, built.com. Use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your entire order at built.com. Built different. All right, Isaac. We've been talking about the MVP race, how Luka can get into it. I think he's probably going to finish at least 4th or 5th. Like, we haven't really talked about DeRozan at all in this, but DeRozan's going to factor in some way if the Bulls hang on and they're going to stay in this top 4 or 5. Like, if they're in the top 3, I think DeRozan is probably... I think between the Bulls and the Mavs, who finishes higher will probably determine who's going to be higher in MVP voting, right? You think?
No.
You think that Luka is going to be higher than DeRozan? No matter.
I think Luka's overall game. I mean, the case for DeRozan over Luka will be like games played. You look at his like field goal percent. I think he's at like X out the stat, but I think he's at like 50% field goal percentage, and he's averaging 20 shots a game. Like that's pretty dang good. Like he's having an incredible season. I just think voters will lean a little bit towards Luka's all around game more. And I think even though they've missed games, I still think there's they have Levine. Oh, they have Vucevic. Like they have some of these guys. They have Lonzo, and once again, even though they've missed game, I think still that will factor into it.
Yeah. The Bulls, when DeRozan plays, by the way, are 61% basically winning percentage, which is much lower than what Luka's is. It's about the same as what Ja's. Actually, it's lower than what Ja's is right now. So if you want to take that into consideration, he's getting a little bit more help than even some of these other guys. So yeah, I think it depends on what DeRozan has also had a lot of memorable moments this season, which I think factors into the MVP narrative a lot as well. But but for all NBA, all season it seems like it's been okay. Well, the Warriors have been so good. Steph Curry's obviously going to get a spot. Okay, well the Grizzlies are all of a sudden moving into they're second in the West right now. Ja's been incredible. Ja's getting another spot. It seems like all season we've been talking about those are the two guys, and Luka's going to have to settle for second team All NBA. But is it time to move on from that right now? Is it time to move on and have Luka upset or Luka sit in where Steph Curry is right now, or is it Luka sitting in where Ja sits right now? Whose spot do you think he takes on first team All NBA? He
has Steph's spot. That it is Luka and Ja as the guards for first team All NBA, and I don't see. I think what's the argument? Especially, I mean, how many games back are they from Golden State at this point? I mean, what?
And they're up on them. Are the Mavs or the Grizzlies?
The Mavs. The Mavs of Golden State.
We're recording this during the Warriors game. It looks like they're going to beat the Clippers, but the Mavs would be 3.5 games back. I mean, it's not a lot.
It's not a lot. And you look at Steph's averages, like they've went down some this year. Like he's averaging 26 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. You look at his 3-point percentage is at 37% or 38%. He has a lower field goal percentage than Luka this year, 43%.
He's got a lower field goal percentage than Westbrook. That's been a joke around Lakers Twitter for a long time this season. It's like, well, field goal percentage doesn't matter as much, I guess.
Lakers can't joke about anything. I just don't. He doesn't have the big statistical case. It's not like he's shooting 42% from 3 and leading the league in scoring. Like that would be one thing, but he's not, and his averages are down. And if there's only like a 2-game difference between them and Golden State, and then especially if Dallas passes them in the standings, like I just don't see that. I think Luka's all around numbers and everything, and especially if Dallas is, finishes top 4 in the West, I think that's his spot. I think Ja's got it locked in. I don't think that's even it's not a debate for me. I think Ja's got that one guard spot locked.
If we want to take the same, advanced stats we were looking at earlier with PER, Ja's at 25.1, Luka's at 24.4. Those are very good, right? Like let's not downplay what these guys are doing this year. Curry's at a 21.6. It's just a step, statistically just a step down from those guys. Win share though, Curry's at 7.6. Ja's at 6.4 and Luka's at 5.4. That's a number that is very weird to me. That Steph has a much lower PER but a much higher win share. And the Warriors are very good when Steph Curry plays. When Steph Curry plays this year, they almost have a 70% winning percentage, which is higher than Luka's. Luka's at 67, Ja was at 61. So you look at the
Mavs.
But that's my next point. Do we care about their head-to-head at all? Because the Mavs have won the series against both the Grizzlies and the Warriors. The Mavs have 3 wins. They're up 3-1 against the Warriors this year. Stop me if you've heard that before. The Warriors down 3-1. And they've also beaten the Grizzlies three times and only lost once. Does that head-to-head matter at all?
I mean, I think it could. I just don't think it'll matter to voters. I think it's more like just the collective season.
Is it up to us to make the case to just tout that everywhere? To just like anytime somebody tweets about MVP, we respond, "Hey, Luka is 3-1 against Ja this year and 3-1 against Steph this year."
I'm all down for that.
Is it up to us? Is it up to you as a Mavs fan? Anytime somebody says Ja or Steph are more deserving of All NBA first team than Luka, you just respond 3-1 for both of those guys.
For the rest of the first team All NBA though, like, I mean, they still do the center spot, right? It's not just three.
No.
forwards.
All NBA they don't.
It's just three bigs, three forwards.
Right? Don't they do front court and
I thought that was all-star voting, but
maybe I'm incorrect about this.
If they still do centers, I think you got your based off our MVP conversation. I think you got your four right there with Giannis, Luka, Jokic, probably. Can
we just put Jokic as a forward and Embiid as the center?
I know. I mean, that's the route to go, but unfortunately, they're probably going to move one of those dudes, probably Embiid, down to second team center, and then you got to move LeBron up if that's the case.
That's insane.
Yeah, but then second team, I spent too much time on this looking at all NBA teams. Second team, I think there's a clear four, in my opinion: Steph, DeRozan, Embiid, and then I put Tatum there.
Tatum's having a year for sure.
And I actually think the guards, there's going to be some guards getting screwed with all NBA this year because
for sure.
I think, Luka, Steph, and DeRozan are locks.
I think DeRozan's going to go in as a forward.
Really?
Yeah, he's played a lot of four this year, and he's played mostly three. I think he's going to go in as a forward.
Maybe he gets that first spot over LeBron if Embiid.
I think he does. See, I think he does.
Okay. Well, then that's good because my biggest question for all NBAs is who the crap's going to get these last forward spots, because I think Trey and Booker are two guards that are going to get at least somewhere through there.
I don't think Trae Young's getting on an all NBA team. Not the way
Really?
that team is that team even 500 right now?
But okay, yeah, okay.
Then they're 2 games under 500.
I just feel like he's gotten all these accolades so far and he's done jack. But
then let's not give it to. I'd rather give it to Donovan Mitchell than him.
Well, I put him there because he's averaging 28 a game. And
that's fine.
There's only 6 players averaging 28 a game. So, and the other ones are going to be in the first team probably. So
that's fine. The team is 29-30 when he plays.
You don't have to talk to me about this.
I was gonna say, how am I the one convincing you?
I'm just saying
I'd much rather take like what is it, 2.3 less points a game for Donovan Mitchell and take what Donovan Mitchell does. We haven't even mentioned the Suns guys. Both Suns guys are getting on an All NBA team.
I put Booker on there. I think Chris Paul games missed. Like if he's out the rest of the year, I think that'll affect it. But yeah, I mean, there's still guys we haven't even talked about, like Darius Garland. Like this dude's had a massive season.
Yeah,
he gets some third team love. Like there's a bunch of guards out there that you're like, dang, you're gonna get screwed in this. But like, is Zach LaVine a guard or a forward? SGA's had a great season. I mean, what are they gonna do with Harden? Does Harden get
Chris Paul's at 58 games played?
But that's what he'll end at.
Yeah, Luka's at 49.
Yeah, but he'll play the rest of the way.
But he'll play the rest of the way. So he'll play what? 18 more games. Yeah. That's not a big enough difference to leave Chris Paul off, and for how good he's been and the Suns have been. Like, just throw both Suns in there. I'm throwing both Suns.
But to finish with less than 60 games, I mean, he's going to miss 24 games.
Yeah, but have a team that may win like 65 games.
True. Yeah. So, and then obviously, I think a sneaky debate will be that third team center spot. I think Rudy will get it, but man, Bam, like being on first team in the East, if they finish that, Bam, even Towns that won't get over Gobert, but like Gobert making it over Bam will cause some arguments over NBA Twitter.
Who are the other options? Oh, it's just so the Embiid and Jokic are locks, like for sure locks for that center spot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, it's Towns, it's Bam, it's Rudy.
Yeah. It's one of those.
Ayton, like no. Jarrett Allen.
Rudy will get it because he's leading the league in rebounds and he's probably going to win another defensive player of the year. So he'll probably get that third spot. But for me, it's like, who's the other forwards? Like after Tatum, like who are you looking at? Siakam? Like, is Zach LaVine a forward? Who are Jaylen Brown?
So who do you have in first? Who do you have in first team again? It's DeRozan and LeBron. Giannis and DeRozan.
Yeah, and then second team, LeBron and Tatum. So who's the other two spots on third team?
I know I just killed Trae Young, but I think LeBron still gets a spot. That team is way under 500.
Oh, let's talk about.
I know.
But yeah, I'm just fascinated by the forward spots. Siakam, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown.
The problem is Durant's only at 39 games played. He's not.
I know. That's why I didn't.
He's not getting one. He played half the season.
I didn't really consider him with that. And
Paul George has missed a bunch of time too. He's not getting one.
Kawhi out for the year.
That's tough.
I know. I mean, Jaylen Brown's averaging 23 a game on a Boston team that could finish in the top 4. So I mean, he could get it. Julius Randle has sucked this year.
Ugh,
so
no. Jimmy Butler has only played 46 games so far this year.
A sneaky one that I would have had on here, but I don't know what his games played will finish at. But like, will Draymond get one of those spots?
Oof.
Depending on games played. But anyway, that's all NBA. I think
Draymond has played.
Either way, Luka's making first or
34 games. No way. Draymond's not sniffing one of these teams.
If Chris Paul can, no, just kidding.
Chris Paul has played 58 games. That was a whole season 2 years ago. 58 games.
If Luka pulls off another first team All NBA,
I know.
3 first team All NBAs in his first 4 seasons, like that's just dumb.
That is very dumb.
Because that means more to me than All Stars. That like
me too.
It like you make first team All NBA, you're one of the 5 best players in the NBA. Like there's weird, things here and there, but like you're one of the elite of the elite. And to do that 3 of your first 4 seasons in NBA, like that's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every day. We are going to be back tomorrow with another episode breaking down the Knicks game. Hopefully they don't do what they did last time they played the Knicks. This time it's in American Airlines. Mavs are playing much better right now. Hopefully the Mavs win that game. But now make your second listen, Locked On NBA. The experts covering the biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.